June 13th order, and our invocation today will be by the Reverend Carol Trax from Community Church, and the pledge will be by Commissioner Wesley Davis.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we praise you for your faithfulness and constancy, and give you thanks for this day and for the privilege of living in a country where individuals have the right to speak up and voice their opinions. Sit with the commission this morning. Give them discerning minds and compassion. Open their hearts and ears to those expressing concerns. Let differing ideas be expressed calmly and clearly. And then guide the commissioners as they consider the best courses of action. We pray in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Under additions and deletions, we have a deletion of item 9A2. Applicant Commander Development Group has requested their item be removed from the June 13, 2006 agenda. Also deletion 9A4. Applicant LVS Bureau LLC has requested that their item be removed from the June 13, 2006 agenda. And also defer item 11B1 and defer that until June 20th.
So moved.
Second.
Will, do you want to explain anything?
Well, those two items that were taken off the public hearing agenda will be required to be re-advertised. I believe the earliest meeting that they could be scheduled for would be July 11th at this point, possibly July 18th, but there will be a new ad in the newspaper for each of those proposed rezonings and comp plan amendment.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. There's no proclamations or presentations today. And approval of minutes of the regular meeting of May 2nd, 2006.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. School concurrency workshop meeting, the minutes of May 3rd, 2006.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Regular meeting, May 16th, 2006 minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Traffic study workshop, May 23rd, 2006 minutes.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Consent agenda.
So moved. Second that, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor for approving the consent agenda?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries.
I'll tell you what, Gary, you might, that's why we put you as chair, vice chair.
I studied you last year. Emergency services request from, that's been moved forward to June 20th. Sorry about that.
You skipped a page for the public hearings.
Item 9A, Mr. Chairman.
I'm just trying to shorten the meeting.
Well, you're doing a good job already. There's not much there.
Public hearing, Indian River School Board's request for abandonment of a portion of 14th Street lying between 16th Avenue and 20th Avenue. Memorandum dated June 6, 2006.
Good morning. I'm Stan Bowling, Planning Director. The subject right-of-way area that's been requested by the school board for abandonment lies south of 16th Street, which would be here on the northern part of this graphic, and 12th Street down at the bottom of this page. It lines up with 14th Street on either side of this segment. 20th Avenue is here on the west or left-hand side of this graphic, and 16th Avenue is here on the east or right-hand side of the graphic. This right-of-way is a paper street, and back in the 1960s, apparently when the county dedicated properties for the high school site, which is the northern half of this rectangle, and the Vero Beach Elementary School site, the southern half of this rectangle, a right-of-way 70 feet wide was retained for 14th Street. And if you look at the aerial, and you've been out to the ball fields on the site, basically this 70-foot wide area is mostly mostly treed on the south portion. There is a ditch that runs underneath the trees from the perspective of this aerial. And then there are actually some ball field improvements that encroach into this right-of-way area slightly, some sheds and concession stand, that sort of thing. The school board is requesting that this right-of-way be abandoned to give them more flexibility to solve the encroachment problem that's there. The right-of-way request has been looked at by county staff and utility providers, but also the City of Vero Beach. And the City of Vero Beach limits are actually the very northern edge of this right-of-way. So the right-of-way basically follows the city-county line, but all of this right-of-way is in the unincorporated area of the county. Because of the ditch that is needed and exists on the south half of this right-of-way, all of the reviewing departments in the city agreed to the abandonment request, subject to retaining a easement for drainage retained by the public along the southern half of this right-of-way, a 35-foot wide area. Staff's conclusion was that there was no need for a street in this particular area. There are no utilities in this right-of-way area and no need for them in the future. And so, subject to retaining a drainage easement over the south half of this right-of-way, staff and the reviewing entities have no objection to the request. And so the recommendation is for abandonment with the condition that a drainage easement be retained over the south half of this right-of-way. Be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I've got one.
Mr. Lothar?
Quick question, Stan, and I know this is a paper street, and obviously those of you that have high school students at Vero Beach High School that are 10th graders are not allowed to drive their vehicles to, or let me rephrase that, aren't allowed to park their vehicles on school property. With this being 14th Street, and now just looking at it, the only question that comes to my mind, are 10th graders allowed to park on this street and not be in violation of having a ticket from the school board?
Don't know the answer to that question. I mean, the right-of-way, I'm not sure about access. If you look at this aerial, if there's even really physical access to.
Well, I guess my
10th
question
graders.
is the parking that's on the north side of where the soccer field is, and there is some parking there.
Right.
Are we constituting that entrance as a street right now? As it being county, is that school property, is that county property? What?
Let me go back to this. This is the only right-of-way between 12th Street and 16th Street across the school board properties, 14th Street. The rest of the areas are on school board property,
So
all
that
the
the-
driveways and parking areas.
The parking right now is on school board property?
That's correct.
So therefore, they can't park there. But they could park across the street where the baseball field is, it's county property.
On the north side of 16th Street,
Yeah.
you're saying?
No. North side of 14th.
No, well, on the north side of 16th where the baseball field is.
Oh, okay.
It's not designated. And obviously, parking has become an issue with the high school because they built that big $8 million performing arts building in the parking lot. I don't have a problem with this. I just wanted to make sure if students started parking there, if they were still wrong, or if this is a county road, they would be okay to park there. But you're saying it's not a county road.
That's
So we're
correct.
just giving up an easement.
Mr. Chairman.
Wesley?
Yes, I guess typically, we would keep a utility and drainage easement. Why did we decide this time to scratch the utility side of this easement?
There are no existing utilities in the right-of-way now, and none of the utility providers nor the City of Vero Beach expressed an interest in having this area for future utilities. There are other areas on the sites, both sites to the north and south, that could accommodate those. So none of the reviewing agencies saw a need to retain that.
Okay.
How did that end up in the unincorporated area of, or the incorporated area of the county rather than the city?
Not sure. The 14th Street traditionally follows, I mean, in some places, my understanding is that the right-of-way is half in the city and half in the county. In this particular case, that was one of the first issues we looked at and asked the city, exactly where the city limits line are, and they confirmed that in this particular location, the northern edge of this right-of-way line is their southern limits.
Okay.
I think a long time ago they had a referendum about moving the, city limits, annexation.
Apparently they didn't.
The property to the north was.
Wasn't left
See
up
how,
to the
see,
council.
see how rumors go?
Obviously, they voted on it. Okay, we'll open the public hearing. Anyone wish to speak on this? Hearing none. close the public hearing.
I move staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next is William D. Bailey's request to rezone plus or minus 50.52 from IG to IL. Memorandum dated May 23rd, 2006.
Good morning, I'm Bob Keating, I'm County Community Development Director. This is really a pretty simple rezoning. The proposal is to change the zoning from general industrial to light industrial. This graphic shows the location of the property. It's just south of North Gifford Road, which is 45th Street, and west of 43rd Avenue. The property is only about a half acre in size. And the purpose is to change the zoning to allow more light industrial uses than general industrial uses. Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to recommend that you change the rezoning of this subject property. This graphic really shows the character of the area and shows the existing land uses there. This property is surrounded on 3 sides by auto salvage yards. And that's one of the reasons why this area has most of the properties in this area are zoned general industrial. General industrial is the only zoning district that we have that allows uses as intense as auto salvage yards. This property, which is owned IG just like the properties all surrounding it, actually has a vacant single-family house on it, and there is a single-family house to the south of that, and both of those are non-conforming uses. As you can see, I think that graphic pretty well illustrates what the area is like and why it is zoned IG there. We looked at the typical criteria we looked at in the rezoning. We looked at concurrency, consistency with the comp plan, environmental impact, and compatibility. With this rezoning, it is exempt from concurrency. When we change a property from IG to IL, there's no additional impacts. Actually, it's really a lessening of intensity, so we don't do a concurrency test in that case. In terms of consistency with the comp plan, both of these zoning districts are allowed in the commercial industrial land use designation, so this zoning district is consistent with the land use plan map. We also looked at all the objectives and policies in the comp plan and determined that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comp plan as a whole. From environmental impacts, there really won't be any. This is an altered site, and it's an altered area around there. So there won't be any significant impacts changing this from IG to IL. From a compatibility standpoint, as I said, this is an unusual area. We've got some very intense uses around here. This is still going to be an industrial zoning district when it's changed, but there are certain uses that are allowed in the IL zoning district that are not allowed in the IG zoning district. And staff feels that there won't be any incompatibilities established with the change of zoning, and feels that the IL will be compatible with the area. So the staff's conclusion is that the proposed rezoning is consistent with the comp plan. It's exempt from concurrency. It won't have any adverse environmental impacts. It's going to be compatible with the surrounding area, and both staff and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommend that you approve the proposed rezoning.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Any questions from staff or for staff? We'll open the public hearing in just a second.
I'm just kind of having a hard time understanding the differences between. I understand that it's a down zoning, and I'm looking at the LDR and what it states for the difference between industrial general and industrial light, and I guess one's more for a manufacturing and the other one's more for, well, quite frankly, I couldn't figure out what exactly other than a.
Yeah, there are various uses that are allowed in IL that are not allowed in IG. Like you could have a car dealership, those types of uses in the IL zoning district that you can't have in the IG zoning district. And I think that's the intent of the applicant, to have a use like that that's a little more retail. This is still not like a general commercial or light commercial district, which allows a full range of retail and office uses, but it does allow a few uses that are more retail oriented, like car dealers and things like that.
Okay. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? If not, we'll open the public hearing. Ma'am, would you like to come to the, you need to come to the podium and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Rose Smith. I live to the south of the property. My neighbor's live on the south side. And he said it's going to use 3-4 car out. I have no obligation to that. That's what I want to know. But that's asking my
Actually, I can't guarantee that, but and what we need to look at when we do a rezoning is anything that's allowed in the zoning district. But that's one of the reasons to change it, and there's a high probability that that's what it'll be.
But they sell cars all around. All the junkyards sell cars. So what
After they do this, they wouldn't be able to put a junkyard there anymore.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
So from what I'm understanding, it's a lighter use.
Yes, clean.
If I were a neighbor, yes, I'd say that.
Okay, thank you. The public hearing for, okay, give us your name and address, please. And okay. Go ahead. Do you have questions? Comments?
I think I kind of heard it when she was here. I believe it in more than one way, it's approved, against residential properties. It's going to be a little less impact. I mean, kind of, because I do own the salvage yard across the street from it, and I do believe it would be a better thing for the neighbors not to have another junkyard or another scrap yard in their property. Now, since I've owned it, I've done it really nice now. We had this, there was really, really bad in the wood back there. Really, think about the trash, all kinds of stuff. I've sodded it, fenced it, brought the property back with nice again. So it's actually clean now rather than, a shop. I've been up further than that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Anyone else wish to be heard? Freddie?
Pretty more 4590 57th Avenue. I consider this a plus for us in the Gifford area, especially the 45th Street's corner. We're doing some planning now, trying to make that whole street look beautiful. And I'll agree with him, the less unique junkyards or salvage yard, because I was just there last week in the bar, so we do need them. But I think as much as we can to keep a close watch, making sure that the whole county as a whole is looked upon the same way. And North River Road has began to improve, and he's correct that there are some nice improvements that have taken place there. So I agree that lowering it down to light industrial will be a plus for that area. And there's some beautiful homes going on 45th Street. Matter of fact, I stay off 45th Street on 46th Street. So definitely anything we can do to make it cosmetically appealing, and this is a good move. I'll approve that.
Thank you, Freddie.
Mr. Chairman, I got one question. Bob, does this, or Stan, does this fall inside the enterprise zone?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
Does it? Okay, so they can get some tax relief with it?
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Actually, Mr. Gill over here, he's been really great and all that kind of stuff. He's over and beyond, sent me faxes and stuff every time an enterprise thing, comes up. He's let me know when the meetings are. He's made me very aware of the products. He's been great in the whole process here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to be heard? If not, we'll close the public hearing.
Move staff recommendation.
I'll second that.
We have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Kim, do you want to read the public notice items?
Notice of public hearing, June 20, 2006. Tax Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act, public hearing for Escambia County Housing Finance Authority single-family mortgage revenue bonds. This matter is administrative. Notice of public hearing for June 20th. Vero First Developers, Inc. request to rezone 11.73 acres located south of State Road 60 and approximately 145 feet west of 63rd Court from A1 to RM6. Bureau First Developers Owners, Houston Cusio Group, Inc., agents. This matter is quasi-judicial.
Move down to Department Manners, Human Resources, and Teamsters Paramedic Collective Bargaining Agreement, memorandum dated June 6, 2006, found on pages 241 through 335.
Again, the only question I have this, Mr. Chairman, and I see John in the audience. I know we have, and even Michael, I know we have moved towards unification of the firefighters and the paramedics. I guess this contract takes us to October, November?
Yes, sir.
And we're waiting on PERC to come back as to which union is going to be representing.
This contract addresses an impasse that we had reached with the paramedics through the consolidation process. Effectively, it addresses their annual COLA increase, but more importantly, allows us to move forward with consolidation. It does leave approximately 46 or so of our paramedics and firefighters without union representation, but the county is honoring their prior bargaining unit contracts and treating them as though they're still in the unit.
Well, that's what I want to get out to the public, so they understand that that's
Yeah, so in the spirit of cooperation, I really would like to thank the paramedics and firefighters. It's been a difficult consolidation. We still have a lot of work to do, but the initial placement of these folks from their prior bargaining unit into a sort of limbo status until the Public Employees Relations Commission anoints a union to represent the dual certified folks. We do need some cooperation, and we've gotten it, so we're proud of that.
And I've heard nothing but good things coming from both sides, that it's finally beginning to move forward, and I move staff recommendation.
I'll second that, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item is 11I, Public Works Developers Agreement with Vero Beach Village, LLC, for paving 37th Street from 66th Avenue to 58th Avenue, memorandum dated May 30th, 2006.
I have just one question here, and I know, Jim, this is the project that I guess I've been involved in over the last 7-8 months for 37th Street, and this is the fact of the west side of 37th obviously going to be paved and maintained by the developer, or the cost of that, and the east side is going to be picked up by the county with the 10-foot right-of-way or 10-foot easement from the neighborhood.
Right, we're requesting, I'm sorry, Jim Davis, Public Works Director. We are requesting the property owners on the north side to donate 10 feet of right-of-way and also give a temporary construction easement so that we can transition their yards back into the road.
I move staff recommendation.
We have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries 4-0. Item 2 is Developers Agreement with Sun Sky USA, LLC, for a left turn lane along 41st Street west of 38th Avenue, memorandum dated May 30th, 2006, found on page 348, 354.
Move staff recommendation for
Second.
alternative number 1.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Kind of nice, Mr. Chairman, but you can't make a motion.
See how much faster we go?
Yeah, we're just moving right on down the road.
Tell you what.
Didn't mean to interrupt you on a roll.
Well, thank you. It's nice to get a compliment from you.
Moving right along.
Item 3 is Chester E. and Lynn R. Wilcox, right-of-way, 7th Avenue, Power Line Road, memorandum dated June 2nd, 2006.
I'll move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries. 4 is right-of-way acquisition, Oslo Road widening improvements, county project number 9705A, Joseph M. Woodhouse and David L. Woodhouse, owners, memorandum dated June 1st, 2006.
I move staff recommendation, Mr. Chairman. I know the 1, 2, 3, the next 4 items obviously pertain to the widening of Oslo Road, and I'm glad to see that we're moving forward with that. I move staff recommendation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Right-of-way acquisition, Isola Road widening improvements, county project 9705A, Diamond Tropical Realty, Inc., owner, memorandum dated May 31st, 2006.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries 4-0. Right-of-way acquisition, Oslo Road widening improvements, county project, number 9705A, Albert Shirley May McDougall, owners, memorandum dated June 1st, 2006.
Move staff recommendation for
Second.
option 1.
I'll second that.
Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Right-of-way acquisition, Oslo Road widening and improvements, Phase 2, county project number 0408, Ball Groves LLC, Peggy Schwer, owner. Memorandum dated June 2nd, 2006.
Move to approve staff recommendation, option 1.
Second.
Have a motion second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Like sign. Motion carries 4-0.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just real quick, just to kind of comment on what Tom said. You know, we had a lot of Oslo Road widening and acquisitions right there in front of us, but also we're just a little bit closer to the Power Line Road paving. We're looking at that moving forward rapidly, and that'll give us a secondary paved entrance into the southern portion of Sebastian Highlands. And I just really want to compliment our Public Works Department, because we're picking up the pace and moving forward fast with it. Good job, Jim.
Is that the road you drive all the time?
No, sir. Actually, I don't. I try to stay on the paved part of it, but
Doesn't show on your truck.
well, that's my driveway. That's not Power Line Road.
Okay. Next item is 11J, Utility Services. 4th Street at US 1, FDOT resurfacing project number 228583-3-52-01. Conflict with existing 12-inch water main, memorandum dated June 6, 2006.
Guess we need a few more dashes in there.
Yeah.
Did you repeat that?
Yeah.
Move approval.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries 4-0. Amendment number 2 to work order number 1 with Schulte Biddle and Stoddard LLC for construction of the master plan force main from State Road 60 south on 74th Avenue, west on 12th Street, and south on 82nd Avenue to the West Regional Wastewater Treatment Facility, UCP 2598, memorandum dated May 31st, 2006.
Move staff recommendation.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Guess what? Did I miss another page, or are we through?
I think we're through, but that's
And I'd
the
like
first
to
time we've
congratulate you before 9:30.
we've had everyone go 4-0.
Well, because Art wasn't here. All right, we'll adjourn the meeting. I think we set a record today.